Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here bringing another video on information technology. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Tuesday. And today is going to be very, very fun today. So today I'm going to go over how to create a user account, how you should log in with the user account, and how you set them up with a mailbox and add it into a distribution group, going over a real life ticket, basically. A ticket that you will see in your job, you might encounter in your job, and I'm going to show you a lot of different things today. So watch this whole video till the end, because I know you're going to have 100 questions, and I know you're going to be asking, how do you do that? How do you do this? I'm going to go over it, and I'll make it as easy as possible. So if you're new to my channel, I do IT videos, I do CompTIA videos, I do desktop support videos, tech support. I talk about how to get into IT as well. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I go live, because I do go live and I do hands-on training. And this video is going to be really well solid, and it will help you out when you're first starting out with your first job in IT. And I'm going to show you a ticket that you will encounter in your job. You may encounter, you may not encounter, but you might see this in your job if you're doing entry-level IT support. So it's going to get serious. I'm going to get serious right now. So let's get into this. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you everything from the beginning to the end. Today, we're going to create a brand new account. I'm going to create his mailbox. Then we're going to log in as him. And then I'm going to show you, because when you create the active, when you set up a new server, you have to change the policies on the server and stuff like that. I'm going to go over that as well, where you would do that and how do you go into that. So the first thing you need to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let's go into share screen one. All right. So I'm on screen one right now. So this is going to be a ticket that you will encounter in your job, by the way. I'm not making this up. New hire request, Jimmy Chan, Department IT. Title, Senior Software Developer. Company number. His email should be jchan@kevtech.local. Add him to admin groups to make him an admin on the local side. And no share drives, and give him access only to his personal drive. So you will see this in your job. I'm just letting you know right now. If you don't see this in your job, then maybe your environment doesn't have it. So I am going to go over this right now, and I'm going to show you how to knock out this ticket. And I'm going to show you what you should be doing as a new admin in IT. So I have my server right over here. I'm going to drag it to the right over here so you can see it. And basically what you do is first thing you want to do is analyze the ticket. Just look at it. Just look at it first. All right. So this guy's a new hire, or this guy's a new hire. This girl's a new hire. They want to be part of the department IT. The title is Senior Software Developer. The company number is there. They want to be part of the admin group, and they have a special request for share drives, none. Give him access to his personal drive. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create the account. But before we get into creating the account, I want to show you some stuff that you need to look at when you first start IT. So if you're starting IT and you have access to this, good for you. If you don't, you don't. Obviously, it's different for every company. Literally, the first thing you want to do on a computer, on this server, if you have access to a server, you go into Server Manager. So you go to the bottom left-hand side, you type Server Manager, you click on Server Manager. Then, the next thing I want you to do, if you're starting your first job in IT, I want you to go into Tools, and I want you to go into Group Policy Management. So we have our Group Policy Management, and when I first started creating this server, I noticed that this server doesn't have a lockout policy, and I had to enable it. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So if you go into settings, so you have the forest, the domain in the forest. We want to go into settings. So we're going to click on Kevtech local, the default domain settings. And you see that the lockout is 30 minutes, 3 invalid attempts, 30 minutes. So, and you have a minimum password age is 42 minutes, and password history is 24 passwords remember. And maximum password length is 7 characters. So now we know all this. This is all the information you should know as a new person in IT. Keep that in mind. If you're new to IT, you should be looking at this when you first start IT. Don't break anything. Don't touch anything. Obviously, they won't give you that much access. You might be able to see this. You may not be able to see this. But it's good to ask them, how long is a password good for? What is the complexity of the passwords? You also want to find out how many times someone can log in until they get locked out. And what's the lockout duration and stuff like that. So this is like practice for us, obviously. So this was set to 0, by the way. Everything was set to 0 when it came to account lockout policy, like I said. And I'm going to show you how to change that right now. So if you go into default domain, you right click on it, you hit edit. You go into, see, this is the domain. This is the server itself, the name of the server. You go into computer configuration, go into policies. You go into software settings. You go into Windows settings. You just expand everything. We care about the security settings. So let's go into security settings. Click on that. And then we're going to click on account policies. This is under account policies. So we're going to expand that. And we're going to expand that. And we're going to click account policy. So you see the passwords in force history is 24. You could change this to whatever you want. You could make it 30 days, 40 days. So this video is going to be very in-depth because I'm going over group policy, obviously, and I'm creating the account and doing a bunch of other stuff. So password age is 1 day. Maximum password length is 7 days. And then you have your account lockout policy. So this was set to 0, by the way, before I set it up. So I put define policy and I put 30 minutes. And I put invalid attempts, I put 3 attempts. Some companies may have 3, some may have 5, some may have 4, some may have 3, some may have 2. So this is how many times you could log in before your account locks you out, if that makes sense. If you're trying the password too many times. So I'm gonna hit OK, close, and I'm gonna hit close. So that's how you would do it, and you hit save. So I'll show you, I'm gonna go back into it right now. So you go into server manager, group policy management, right click on it, hit edit. We're gonna change it just to show you what it does. I'm gonna change it again. So Windows settings, security settings, account lockout policy, change it to 4. I'm gonna hit apply, I'm gonna hit OK. And then I'm gonna close out of this. And then I'm gonna right click on it. Right click on it, I'm gonna hit enforce policy or enforce, and it should be good. So now we're good now. So there's 4 attempts now for this account. So you want to set it up for your computer or your server. So if you have a server installed, make sure you set this up on your computer because this will be set to 0 by default. You want to change it to something. So make it more realistic in the environment that you're working in, if that makes sense. So now this is set up. Now I want to create the new account. I want to show you that because this is something you should be looking at when you first start IT, if that makes sense. So this video is going to cover a bunch of stuff. So now we have a request for a new hire. We know there's a new hire. So we're going to go into the server itself. And I'm going to do this step by step, and I'm going to slow down on it. I don't want to go too fast and confuse everyone. So we're going to go into our server manager. Click on server manager. We're going to go to the top right-hand side. We're going to click on tools. We're going to click Active Directory users and computers. I created a shortcut, by the way, so I right-clicked on it and I hit pin to taskbar. So if you don't want to keep opening this, like, see how there's nothing here, and you want to create a shortcut, you could put a shortcut, or you could click on it mostly used. See, this is most recently used. You click on it, you right-click on it, you hit pin to taskbar. Like that's the easiest way for me. Like if I have access to a server, I will literally put shortcuts everywhere on the server to make my life a lot easier. So if you're a new guy in IT, I recommend doing that. Even the server itself, see, I'm in the Exchange server. Even this, I bookmarked it on Chrome on the server itself because it makes life a lot easier for me, if that makes sense. So I recommend creating shortcuts if you're starting out new in IT, because you're not going to remember everything. Even the people that are veterans or have experience in IT, they create bookmarks for everything because you're not going to know where everything is. You're going to forget. You'll do it maybe 1 or 2 times or 3 times, and then later on throughout the year, you forget how to do it. So, all right, so now we're on Active Directory users and computers. So we have to create a new account. We know his name is Jimmy Chan, and we know he has a department, he has a title, he has a number, he has blah, 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 he has all these things, right? So when you go into Active Directory users and computers, obviously there are subfolders for everything. So in your environment, you may have a subfolders that look like this, you may not. It depends where you work. So there's a folder called users, you want to add them in there. And basically you right click on it and you hit new user. And you're gonna put Jimmy Chan. And the username is gonna be J Chan. How do I know that? Well, look at how do I know it's Jimmy J Chan as the username? I go into the other accounts on the computer. So on the server, I go to other accounts. So like if you're new to IT, you're new to desktop support, literally what I do, I literally uniform it based on the other accounts that are created on the server. So if I go into Aaron Wells and I go into account and it says A Wells, right away I know that they go by the first letter of the name and the last name. So I have to do the same thing with Jimmy Chen. So I'm going to go back into users, right click on it. I'm gonna hit new user, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna mirror whatever I see already existed on that user folder, if that makes sense. That's how I look at it. That's how you should analyze it, if that makes sense. So Jimmy Chan. So we know it's gonna be J Chan, and we're gonna hit next. And then I'm gonna do password change password on next login. So literally when they log in, they're required to change their password. Literally required to change their password. So we're gonna do capital P, password 123. And obviously we're gonna log in as the user, and I'm gonna show you what happens. Password 123, and hit next, next. So now their account is fully created. And I wanna add more information. I wanna add the department, their title, and everything here. So what we're gonna do is we could either right click on it and hit properties. Right click on it and hit properties, or we could, well, actually, I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see. Actually, yeah, that does make sense. Let me see seems like my right click's not working. It's like stuck for some reason. All right, that's fine. So you could double click on him. It's fine. My right click's messed up. So you could double click on him, and we're gonna do the email. So we know it's J Chan, right? We know it's J Chan. So we're gonna do J Chan at kevtech.local. And then we're gonna go into, sometimes people will put their office in there if you like. That's entirely up to you. The number's right there. So I'm not sure if it's gonna let me do it, but we're gonna do XXX to see if that works. It might not work. It may give me an error message, but we'll see. So XXXXX. That's the telephone number. You're gonna hit apply. Then we'll put the address. We'll put like 300 Park Avenue, because it's based in New York. I'm gonna do New York, NY 1002. And then we're gonna put the country or origin, whatever, and we're gonna put the United States. So you'll be required to do this in your job. You may not be required to do this. You may be or may not. HR might do it. You might do it. The server admin might do it. Somebody will do this, by the way. It's not like it's gonna be blank. It's not gonna be blank. Someone will do this in your job. Somewhere in your job, someone will do this. The account is J Chan. We know that. And then we have telephone profile. And the phone number, you can put it right over here as well. So organization, we have job title. So job title will be, because we have a job title for him, it's going to be senior software developer. And then we're going to do department is IT, so we know the department is IT. And then we'll put Kevtech as the company. So it's Kevtech is my username, or my my YouTube channel name. Then he has a manager. You put it in here. You hit apply. And now he needs access to a shared drive or a personal drive as well. So we want to look at that as well. That's super duper important. So we're gonna hit OK. Like Kevin, how do you create a personal drive, or how will you get a personal, like how do you set up a personal drive? Basically what I do is I look at another account on Active Directory. So if I know that there's another account that has a personal drive, then I just copy that, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use common sense. I'm using common sense basically. So if I go into Aaron Wells and double click on Aaron Wells, I would literally go into Aaron Wells. I go into accounts, looking for profile, and I see he has a home folder already. So I will literally go into him and look at his profile and double click on it and copy and paste it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go back to Jimmy Chan, because that's the account I created. I'm going to double click on him. I'm going to go into profile. Because he wants the Z drive. So the personal drive is the Z drive. I'm going to copy and paste. And I know his name is not A Wells. I know his name is J Chan. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to put J Chan. And it should work. It shouldn't give me an error message or anything. So I'm going to hit apply, hit OK. So now I know there's a folder directory called home for him. And how do I confirm that this is actually mapped for him successfully? I will literally go into my folder directory on the C Drive Explorer right over here on the share drive, or on the server. I will go into this PC. I will go into local disk, and there's a home folder right there. I know there's a home folder right there. His name should be right there. It should be J Chan. So we double click on it, or click on it one time. Actually, double click on it. Sorry about that. It should be J Chan. And how do you know that this folder belongs to him? You could go even further into it, actually. You right click on it, and you hit properties, and you hit sharing, and you hit share. And it's going to show him right there. He's right there. He's literally right there. Now, if you want to get into further detail, obviously you go into security, and it's going to tell you that he has full admin rights to that, full inheritance rights to that folder, if that makes sense. And if you hit the advanced settings, it's going to show that he's not inheriting anything but that folder and that folder only, if that makes sense. So this is NTFS. You need to understand what this is, if that makes sense. This is shared drive permissioning. So he only has access to that one folder, and that's it, nothing else. That's the way you set it up. He shouldn't have access to everything, plus the folders behind it, plus the folders in front of it. You know, in front of it, it makes sense, but the ones in behind it doesn't make sense. Hopefully this makes sense. And obviously, if you go into advanced sharing, the reason why we do it on a server is because you have about 167,000 people that could connect to that folder directory. On a server versus on a local computer, you cannot do that. So if you go to a local computer, I'm on my local computer, and say, for example, I create a new folder and I call it home, right? I call it home. Then I right click on it. I'm just showing you, just to show you for people that are like, why is not created on a local computer? You go into sharing, you go into advanced sharing. You can only share this with 20 people. So why would you create a home directory folder on a local computer? That doesn't make any sense. So that would be in a server, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to delete that just to show you guys. All right. So now he has a home directory. We know he has a home directory. So we are good to go. Now we have to create a mailbox for him. So I'm going to show you what happens when you create a mailbox. So we're going to close out of that. We're going to open up your web browser, or you could open up the Exchange console, up to you how you do it. Obviously, if you don't know how to install Exchange 2016 on Server 2016, watch my other videos. I have a video on this, by the way. I have a full-blown video on how to do this on a virtual machine. The reason why you need to understand Exchange 2016 is because it's part of Azure, and Azure looks almost similar to on-premise Exchange 2016. So this looks almost the same thing. So you'll be doing the same thing actually on your computer on this. So that's the reason why I go over it, because you will encounter this. You will see this in your job. You will encounter this in your job. I'm just letting you know right now. So now we want to add him to the mailbox. So depending on your environment, every environment is different, but usually by default, the user will show up right over here. You just have to add him in here, if that makes sense. It'll actually, the Exchange server talks to your domain controller, which is kevtech.local. So you should be able to add him here. And I'm going to show you what I mean by now. So if you hit the arrow key pointing down, I logged into my Exchange console. It logged in. It logged me out. Let me just log in again. I'll show you how I log in. You log in with your admin credentials, or the account that's created with it. And I want to add him here. So you would hit the little arrow pointing down, user mailbox. Obviously, we're not creating a new user account. He's already on Active Directory on the domain controller. You literally hit browse. And then you hit Jimmy Chan, you hit OK. And I got over this before. If you go to more options, obviously, if the person is located in New York, you put him in a New York mailbox. If he's in London, you put him in a London mailbox. If he's in Japan, you put him in a Japan mailbox. So you put him in the server or the mailbox or the mail database based on where he lives and where he's located. You don't put him like literally across the map in a different location, if that makes sense. Because otherwise, he'll have latency with his emails. So if he's based in New York, you put him in New York, and that's it. That's pretty much it. You know, common sense, right? Hopefully that's common sense. And you hit save. Now, how do you know that it actually replicated on the domain? How do you know all the information I typed in actually replicated on the Exchange server? You could actually see it right here. So if you see this, literally the work phone number is right there, XXX. Literally the title is right there. Literally the title is right there. So you know that it actually imported properly, if that makes sense. Now, if you go into it further detail, just FYI, if someone, before I even get into details with that, just FYI, if someone ever leaves the company and you want to hide them from the address book, you do it right here. You hit hide from address book and you hit save. It even tells you right there. If you select this option, the user won't appear in your organization address book or other address lists, but they will still receive emails sent to them. So you could hide them right here and hit save. So if you don't want them to show up on your Outlook directory, you literally check mark that and you hit save. All right. So now I'm going to hit mailbox usage. Don't worry about that. Contact information. Look, it updated. Look at that. I don't even got to do anything. I did it on Active Directory and it actually imported everything on Exchange. So this is what you will see in your job and your environment. Look at that. In the department is set up, company is set up, email address is right there. Mailbox is right there. He is not part of any groups. Now, we know that he is fully set up, by the way. So this is actually working. We're going to go back to that ticket. So it actually said that add him to admin group. So he should be an admin. He should be part of admin groups. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So, we create Active Directory, domain, users, and computers as a shortcut. So you're going to click on it again. You're going to go into the users folder. You're going to go into Jimmy Chan. You right click. You could right click on it and hit properties. Now the right click is actually working. Or you double click on it and you hit members. And in members, you do add. And there's two ways to do it. You could either type admin and then check for names and it'll show up. Or you could go into the advanced settings and then hit find now. And it'll show all the accounts associated with your server or with your computer, if that makes sense. And you just click on it. So we're going to add them to administrations and hit OK, hit OK, hit apply, hit OK. Now I know that this is a new hire with me. Like I like to do things from A to Z. I don't like to just create the account and then, not test it. Now let's log in as him. How do you, let's just log in as him. So the ticket is right here. I'm not going to close the ticket yet, obviously. We're going to go into our computer. And we're going to do, first of all, let me restart this real quick because his name should not show up right there. So by the way, I did delete his account and I'm recreating it again. So let me just restart real quick. His name should not show up. Let me restart real quick. It should be nothing there. Let's see. All right, it's still there. All right, that's fine. That's totally fine. So how do you confirm that the computer is in a domain? It says Kevtech. So the domain is Kevtech right over here on the left-hand side. How do you confirm that that this computer belongs to the domain controller or belongs to Active Directory users and computers? How do you confirm that? You go into computers. How do you confirm that this computer is actually desktop 1? Literally, you type // I'll show you right now. You type / desktop 1. Look at that, desktop 1. So it's actually on a domain, and this computer is actually on the Active Directory users and computers. So let's log in as him. Let's just see what happens when we try to log in as him. So we know what the username is, J Chan. So let's just confirm that it's that. So literally, you go back to users, you double click on him, J Chan, and the password is set to change on next login. So let's just log in and see what happens. So it's gonna be J Chan, capital P, password 123. I think it's what I set it up as. Look at that immediately. User must change his password before signing in. You hit OK. So we're gonna change the password to capital W welcome 123, capital W welcome 123. I think I missed the 3 right over here. So let me try that again. Capital W 123. All right. And then we're gonna you can hit the arrow key or you can press enter. Entirely up to you. Password has changed. Now, how do you confirm that the password has changed successfully on this computer, on this person's account? How do you confirm that? How do you confirm that this is actually, like they actually logged in successfully? Obviously, they're able to log in. So that's how you know. Another way to confirm that is if you go to Active Directory users and computers, you double click on Jimmy Chan, you go into account, and you see it says user password must change at next login. Remember it was checkmark? It's not checkmarked anymore. So that means he logged in successfully. All right. So if I was the IT desktop support IT guy, desktop support level 1, me as a professional, I put a bunch of shortcuts. So like if I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, I put it in the taskbar. I would literally remove this. I will remove this. I will remove this. I will remove this. I would open up Chrome. I would set it as a shortcut. I would open up Excel, PowerPoint, everything, set it as your shortcut. I will literally go into default apps. And then change that. So like email for me would be Outlook. I click on Outlook. If I go all the way down to web browser, I change it to Chrome. If he's a Chrome user, then I'll close it out. And literally, if I want to confirm even further into detail, I want to make sure it has H drive as map. How do I do that? I click on the C Explorer, yellow triangle, or yellow folder, sorry. Hit this PC, and it should show up right there. And then if it was me, because this is the way I work, I create a shortcut. I put it on the desktop, and it actually works. So now he's good. Now he's fully set up. We know he's fully set up. He's logged in and everything. So this is what a new hire should be set up as. You log in as the user. You create their account. You create their mailbox. You create their title. You make sure their shared drivers are fully mapped successfully, and you create shortcuts for them on their desktop. That's how you do a new hire, if that makes sense. So I could close this ticket right now with my eyes closed, literally. And sometimes some of these tickets, they want people that have certain applications like Adobe Acrobat, Creative Cloud, and stuff like that. So literally, I could close this ticket right now. Like literally, I could close it right now. I'll put close. I'm gonna go back to it and put notes on it. I'm gonna put account has been created. Mailbox was created. I also logged in as the user and tested everything, and make sure that the home drive is mapped. Save. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Now I'm going to show you what happens if someone tries to log in 4 times in a row and locks their account. Say, for example, this is Jimmy, the software developer, and he remembers his password, but his keyboard is malfunctioning, right? So he can't log in because his keyboard is malfunctioning. So he's typing he's typing with the keyboard too many times the incorrect username and password. So I was like, all right, Kevin, I don't know why I can't log in. I went on, I'm gonna lock the computer. I'm gonna do Control Delete. Kevin, I'm trying my password, it's not working. See, your reference account is locked out. It may not be logged into. So then he calls you, hey, Kevin, I'm locked out of my account. Can you unlock my account? So when you get a call like that, you want to find out who he is first. You want to find out what department he works, and you want to find out if it's actually him. It's not a robot. So, good morning or good afternoon. IT Kevin speaking. How can I help you? Hey, hey, Kevin, my account is locked out. Can you unlock my account? I'm sorry. Who's calling? My name is Jimmy. What's your last name? Chan? Jimmy Chan, yeah. What's your username? RJ Chan. What department you work at? I work as a software developer. All right, let me see your account. Do you want me to change your password, or do you want me to just unlock your account? Can you unlock my account? I think I know what my password is. The problem is my keyboard got stuck. All right, let me check your account for you. So right away, his account is locked out. So you want to go into Active Directory, users and computers. You could right click on him and just type J Chan. Or you could go into users folders and actually look for him right over here, and then double click on him and unlock his account. Some people, what they do is they go into reset password. That's not the right way to do it. Don't reset his password. If he knows what the password is, have him try to log in first before you reset the password. So we're gonna double click on him. We're gonna go into account, and you should see this account. Unlock account. Account is currently locked out of Active Directory domain controller. So he's locked out. So literally, you'll get like 1,000 phone calls about this every single day. Either they try connecting to VPN, they try connecting to Citrix, they forgot their password, they fat finger their password, they tried a bunch of different things, and it locks their account. So they'll call you to unlock their account because of that. So literally, all you gotta do is hit the little checkbox next to it, hit apply, hit OK, and hey, hi, Jimmy. Hey, yes, Kevin. Can you try logging in again? Let me know if it works. Otherwise, we'll change your password. Yes, Kevin. So then, it should take effect right away, hopefully, depending how they're set up, and then have them log in again. So we're going to do welcome, capital W, 1, 2, 3, and it should work. There we go. They're set up after. They're good after that. Now, I'm going to show you another error message. Say, for example, the user's account was disabled by accident. Let's just see what happens when we disable the account. Let's just see what happens. For the sake of this video, let's just disable his account. So we're gonna right click on him and we're gonna disable his account. I'll just show you all the different error messages you will see in your job. So we're gonna do the same thing. He went, poor Jimmy. He's getting killed today. Like he goes on break. He forgot his password. He's locked out. Now he goes on break. He comes back. He tries to log in, and now he can't log in for some reason. What is going on today? Your account has been disabled. Please see your system administrator. So if that happens, obviously you enable the account. If that happens, you want to make sure that person is maybe that person got laid off. Maybe that person got fired. Maybe that person they're a consultant. Maybe their account was disabled for that reason. Maybe they have to enable the account again. Hey Kevin, I'm a consultant. I started today. Well, actually, I worked about 4 months ago, and now I'm back with the company again. Still working as a consultant. I think my account was disabled. Can you enable my account for me? I'm like, yeah. Let me find out what HR. And you call HR. Jimmy's account is disabled. Can I enable his account again? And can I have him log in again? Is it okay if I log him in again with his old account? I think he remembers his old password. Can we have him log in again? Is that okay with you? You get the approval from HR or your manager, and then you enable the account. So literally all you do is right-click on it, enable account. Account has been enabled. You hit OK. Hi, Jimmy. Yes, Kevin. Can you try logging in again? Do you remember your password from 4 months ago? Yes, I do, Kevin. All right. W, welcome. Obviously, you could reset the password if you need to. That's it. That's how you do it. I'll give you another example. Say, for example, the person's a consultant, is a software, because sometimes we have software developers that are consultants. And his password does work, but it has expired. So sometimes their account expires. So what we're going to do is we're going to put him on May 25th, 2020. Yesterday, we're going to hit apply. We're going to hit OK. And poor Jimmy, he's a consultant. He was a consultant. He left. He left for 3 months because he had to take care of a personal issue. He came back and his account has expired, but he doesn't know that. So this is the error message that he will get when he tries to log in. I'll show you. So Jimmy is like, I know what my password is, so I'm going to try to log in. The user account has expired. Now you have a different error message. The user account has expired. And then he calls you back. Hey, Kevin, yeah, my account says the user account has expired. Can you check my account for me? Yeah, sure, I'll check your account. And then, you go into Active Directory, users and computers. You could search his name by right-clicking on it. You do J Chen. And right-click on it. You hit Properties. You hit Account. And you see that it's expired. We'll set it to never. Obviously, you get approval for that. And you get approved by your manager, HR, whoever. And like, Jim, do you remember your password? Yeah. Can you log in for me again? Yeah, sure. I'll log in for you. Okay. So his password is capital W, welcome 1, 2, 3. There we go. So that's how you would resolve that issue. Now, going further into detail, like I'm gonna extend his account only for 3 months, if that makes sense. So we're gonna click on it, double click on him, hit account. It expires in August. So we're gonna go into 2020 and it expires in August 1st. Apply, okay. So now sometimes you have these issues where the user is locked out or the user's password expires, their account's expiring. Maybe you want to find out what groups they're part of and all this good stuff. So how do you do that? How do you do that on a server? How do you do that on your computer? So if you're a full admin on your computer, you could do it. If you're a new guy in IT and tech and IT support, help desk, desktop support, you want to know how to do these commands. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So basically, if you have access to the server or you have RSAT tools on your computer, you could do it as well. You don't even have to have RSAT tools on your computer. You could literally open up CMD, run as admin, and run these commands. So you go into the start menu, you type CMD, you type net user, and his name is J Chan /domain. So now here, if you look at it carefully, it says account is active. Account expires 8/2/2020 at 12 a.m. Password last set 5/26 today. Password expires 7/7. Password is changeable 5/27. And going further into detail, we know he has a home directory. So look, the home directory is literally right there. And we know he has certain groups he's part of. There we go. Now, say, for example, someone has access to a shared drive folder and you're working with 3 people in the same office and only one person has access to that shared drive folder, but the 2 other people are requesting access to that shared drive folder as well, and they don't have access to it, and you want to know what the folder path directory is, because sometimes when you work in these departments, in these IT departments, or work with these people and users or clients, they'll have like the Z drive, the H drive, the A drive, the G drive, the T drive, whatever, right? you want to find out what they're mapped to, and you cannot find out at all what they're mapped to. So you want to find that out. How do you do that? So basically, you go on Jimmy's computer. There's other two new hires like Aaron Wells and somebody else, and you want to find out what he has mapped to that they might need as well, if that makes sense. So you're like, Jimmy, can I get on your computer? Yes, Kevin. Can I run CMD as admin? I'm gonna run a CMD as admin. Can I get on your computer real quick? Is that okay with you? Yeah, sure. They need access, and he's like the head of the software team. They need access to the same shared drive as I have access to. So how do you find that out? Literally, you go on Jimmy's computer. Obviously, you get permission. You go on his computer, go to the start menu, and you type CMD, and literally you type net space use, and it tells you right there. So he'll have like the H drive, Z drive, L drive, whatever, and it'll tell you how it's mapped. And then when you find out how it's mapped, you could copy and mirror that to the other users in the office, if that makes sense. And that's it. That's pretty much it. This is everything in a nutshell that you should be worried about if you're doing entry-level IT support or help desk. I hope this video helps you out. I know it's a really long video, but this is gonna hopefully this builds you up as an IT professional. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. All right, take care. Peace. Later.